I know you guys are driving your Lexus without CarPlay, and you guys are using that crappy Amazon phone holder that either goes on the vents, that CD holder, whatever that crap is. Or you just have your phone in your lap trying to navigate while you're driving. Hella dangerous, don't do that. Well, I have a solution for you. Let's fix that. Alrighty guys, first things first, let's just go ahead and unscrew the factory Prindle knob. Just simply screw it off, and then we'll just pop this out here. It's all just being held in by clips. Grab a thin plastic panel removal tool. Go ahead and scrape it off. Pop it off like so. You can kind of grab your hands here with the panels and just kind of pop it off. And back here there is a clock. Just go ahead and release the tab there. Remove the two 10mm bolts. Pull it out. And there you have access to our connections back here. And we'll get started on removing this cowl here. There's one. This is the second one. And all I did was just, so this is how it looks. All I did was just pull this tab all around with the plastic panel removal tool, okay? Make sure you have a pretty good grip on it. All right. Let's pull straight out towards you. Next, grab a magnetic screwdriver. There's a screw here. Make sure your tools are magnetic because this will drop if it's not. Beautiful. All right. We'll carefully tilt it downward and we'll remove these clips, these connectors. Right. And this one is kind of tricky, but you're just gonna push in on this tab here to release it, okay? All right, and then we'll just carefully remove the screen. All right, guys, so since this ES is the non-navigation model, this is very important. It does come with a bypass harness. If you don't install this bypass harness to the correct location, your screen will flicker, okay? And this bypass harness is always included if your vehicle requires the bypass harness. If it doesn't, it won't come with it, okay? But this bypass harness actually connects to the power connector that powers on the factory screen. And then this end will go straight back into the screen, okay? So the first connector we're gonna work with behind the radio is actually this connector here. And this one here will plug into our CB3 plug and play wiring harness. Make sure I always hear the click. Make sure it's fully locked in. Push our connector back in. This connector located right here. And this one will plug and play into our other wiring harness connector that's also plug and play. And that will go back into the factory radio, like so. We have a 10-pin connector, and this one will go towards the bottom right of the radio. I'm gonna remove this connector because I can't really get access there, but it's gonna be this connector here, okay? And this will plug into our plug and play wiring harness again. And this side goes back into the radio, and we'll re-plug in this factory connector up top here. Okay. Next, let's just go ahead and route all of our cables to our display screen where we will be mounting our two modules. All right. So since the two modules are gonna be back there, let's first actually connect all of our parts to the NV17 module. First things first, we have the NV17 power wire. It's this red wire, which connects next to the HDMI port, also known as main power. Next, we have a 90-degree HDMI cable here. This side we usually like to keep for the dip switch module, which is the actual main video interface module. So instead, we're gonna connect this side. All right, so this one goes here. And next, we have two audio cables that both use the 3.5mm jack. One is labeled NV17 microphone. The other one is labeled NV17 AUX. Very important, you do not mix these two up, okay? The microphone goes into microphone in, which is next to the USB port right here, okay? So microphone in. Make sure it's all the way in and it's not just hanging out like that, or if you think that's in either, it's actually not. Push it all the way in, okay? Then we'll do the same thing with the NV17 AUX. Now the auxiliary jack goes into line out, not external speaker, okay? And they're both right next to each other, okay? Line out, not external speaker. Sweet. we are routing the wireless antenna here. I'm gonna have it right down the radio hanging out here for a moment. And the antenna just screws on to where the screw is next to the USB port. Next, let's go ahead and connect our external USB cable into the USB port of the MV17. And this is how it should all look like once it's all completed and all connected, okay? We're gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up with some foam tape that's also supplied in the kit. And you can use any automotive or household foam tape, just as long as it kind of doesn't rattle or anything, sticks really well. And the main reason we add this foam tape is just so it doesn't rattle back there, okay? And make sure when you're putting these foam tapes on, you don't really cover these vents, okay? Make sure you keep them open. And from here, let's go ahead and route our external USB port right down towards the radio for now, okay? There's a really big pocket in both the left and right side, straight behind the screen. And from here, with all this extra cabling, we can go ahead and wrap it up. That's way the screen does not get pregnant. Sweet. All that's left to do is to plug in our main dip switch module. And this already comes pre-configured for your vehicle. There is a label right down here that tells you exactly which dip switches should be facing down and on. And for this Lexus ES without factory navigation, it's going to be 1, 5, and 7 that are on, which are facing down. So we have our main plug here, HDMI from the MV17 connecting in there. Let's go ahead and wrap her up with some foam tape as well. All right, perfect. All that's left to do is connect our video cables. And from here, we have 2 video cables. One that says GVIF in, and the other one that says GVIF out. And GVIF out doesn't actually go on the outer one, okay? It actually goes on the inner one. Okay, so GVIF out here and GVIF in here. Okay, sweet. And let's go ahead and move the dip switch interface all the way toward the back. Perfect, like so. Zip tie this up as well. All right, and this we will tuck right on top of the dip switch. The GVIF in has a female port that will connect back to the factory GVIF cable. Plug that in. And then the GVIF out will have a male port that will connect back to the screen. All right, so the extension bypass harness will plug back into where the screen black connector goes to. The GVIF cable will plug back into the GVIF cable port, and then the black plug will go back over here. This goes here like so. Put that clip back in, put this connector back in, and we'll slowly tilt everything back and tuck away everything in and clip it in. Sweet. And from here, we still have everything out that still needs to be connected, but we can at least run a quick test. And everything is booting up like normal. And I can tell that the factory joystick controller is working. And if I push and hold the menu button, it brings us to our main menu screen here. I push back and forth, it's switch in. And let's just go ahead and test steering wheel control. So I'm gonna go into media, make sure that's working. Factory steering wheel is also working. All right, now that we tested all the factory functions, let's just go ahead and put everything back in. Turn off the engine. And with this wireless antenna, it does come with some 3M, which I've already pre-removed, and we are going to just pretty much kind of stick it right underneath the radio. And I'm just going to push and hold there for a few moments. All right, and then I'm going to route the USB right around the factory harnesses, and it's just going to go straight underneath the radio. All right, I'm going to go ahead and tuck away all the wires back here. All right. Perfect. And after all that is said and done, let's go ahead and put back the screen cowl. Make sure all these clip holes line up. Give it a good old firm push. Okay. And we'll put back these clips that we removed. So you kind of just line them up and push them back in. Sweet. And then we'll put back the clock. Here we go from push. Last but not least, we have the nice, beautiful interior panel here. Push her on down. Awesome, okay. And be sure to always double check your work. Make sure everything's nice and in. Okay. And the way the USB port is gonna stick out is kind of just under here. So if you have excess like I do, you can just go ahead and keep tucking away the excess. And it will just hang out like so. And then we'll bring this panel back in and clip her on back in, okay? Sweet. So the way it works is if you want to use it, have it out. If you don't want to use it, just tuck it in. Can't even see it. Nice and OEM. Don't forget the prindle. Let's go ahead and fully start on the vehicle. All right. No error messages, no check engine light, plug and play. Everything is nice and working beautifully. And let's go ahead and push and hold the menu button, which will bring us to our 3-icon main menu screen here. And on my iPhone, I am going to go into Settings, General, and CarPlay. And there's a NV17W on the bottom. I'll tap on that. Pair, connect, and allow to check for CarPlay apps. And just like that, I've already set up wireless Apple CarPlay with our wireless S Connect interface. And all the factory controls are working. And let's just try playing some music. And unfortunately, as you can tell, it's actually coming out of my phone. This is an issue. It's not working right? So I'll pause the music for now. I'll double check the factory audio source. I'll hold down menu. And if we go to media, my audio is off. So I'm gonna go ahead and press media here and make sure it's always on Bluetooth audio source, okay? Now my phone is not connected to this vehicle, so let's go ahead and connect my phone. I'm gonna hit add device, connect my phone via Bluetooth. Okay, and there it is, hands-free, pair. All right, and we'll hold down the menu button one more time. And just like that, audio is now finally synced to the vehicle. And it's pretty low volume, right? I gotta crank it all the way up, but easily fixable. Increase the volume on your phone, not the vehicle. So max it out first, as you can tell. Now it's maxed out. Much louder, much better. And then adjust the vehicle volume after, okay? And everything all still works from the factory. So if I put the vehicle in a reverse showing CarPlay, it brings up the factory reverse camera, put it back into park, brings back into CarPlay. Or if I put the vehicle into reverse and put it into drive, it jumps back to CarPlay. All right, and volume on the steering wheel still works. All right, decreasing it, and then skip, reverse, and let's go ahead and check what the weather is with Siri function. All right, so if I'm gonna push the audio button. Hey Siri, what's the weather? And can't really quite hear Siri, right? Easy way to fix that, you'll go back on your iPhone. I'm gonna push and hold the power button on my phone to summon Siri. And once the Siri bubble pop up, I'm gonna increase the volume to max on my phone as well, okay?
I can't help with that, but
there you go, it's already much louder.
Vehicle stereo.
And just like that, we've completed the installation, gave you guys a demo of how everything works, and it all works seamlessly, very easy to install. If you guys can't install it yourself, please feel free to email us or leave a comment down below with your zip code, and we're happy to recommend you guys somebody in your area that will complete the installation service for you. They can also help you order it as well. But as always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys hit the like button if you guys really like the video or if this helped you out. Subscribe to us. That's it for this video, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Look, I don't take no loss, it's simple. Long stand up, guy on 10 toes. Looking in the mirror, who